Thank the chair. This amendment prohibits any of the funding in the Milcon VA appropriations bill from being used to carry out President Biden's executive orders on climate change. I was gratified to have offered a similar amendment and to see it adopted on the floor of the House with respect to the National Defense Authorization Act, what we call the NDAA. We believe that the United States military should have a singular focus, and that is also true for the Veterans Administration. It should have a singular focus, ensuring our veterans have the care they need, not advancing the climate fetish that is making us beholden to China for our energy needs, undermining our national security, undermining the very reason veterans put their lives on the line to defend this country. In August of 2021, the VA put forward a, quote, climate action plan, which includes indoctrinating VA employees with so-called climate literacy, pushing renewable energy consumption, sustainable buildings, and greenhouse gas emissions at VA facilities. Now VA is transitioning its fleet of over 22,000 vehicles to zero-emission vehicles. Now, mind you, our American public who want to go about carrying out their jobs and their livelihoods can't even afford vehicles anymore. We're clamping down on the ability of them to go purchase vehicles because we're limiting the production of the internal combustion engine. So we can have battery-powered automobiles that are being produced with lithium and cobalt and things being mined in Africa while children are being exploited and the Chinese Communist Party is being empowered. All while China, by the way, has got 1,100 coal-fired plants compared to our 250, and they're building 2 a week while we're basically doing nothing to advance anything with respect to reliable energy. Instead, we're putting all of our eggs in the unreliable energy basket, which makes us beholden to China, the Chinese Communist Party, and our enemies around the globe, rather than exporting liquefied natural gas and making us stronger. And again, the Veterans Administration ought to reflect the American people and our strength by focusing on its core mission, providing health care and providing benefits that are necessary for those who have served to defend our country. My Democratic colleagues apparently think you can power a VA hospital on wind and solar alone. And of course you cannot. It's not possible. Anybody who looks at it and looks at the data and see, on a windless, cloudy day, how are you powering a VA hospital? You're powering it with fossil fuels. You're powering it with what little nuclear power we have, given that we've been unable to build a nuclear plant, by far the most reliable non-CO2 producing energy in the world. We haven't been able to do it since the 1970s because of the regulatory infrastructure in this country. It's absurd. My colleague on the other side of the aisle go around ballyhooing about carbon dioxide, and the one reliable energy that you could do has been prevented through regulatory morass for the better part of my entire lifetime of 50 years. Instead, they go around producing wind and solar, which more indication, more information comes out about how horrific it has been for the planet, how horrific it is for children throughout this world mining those minerals, how empowering it is for our enemies, and here we are trying to turn the VA into essentially a promotion of the climate agenda for the radical left. I reserve.
The gentleman reserves.